Hello, beautiful souls. So good to see you today. We're continuing our Charles Haanel's affirmation activation with Quantum Me Life. And the full affirmation is I'm whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. And today we are on harmonious. Now, I happen to be recording this from Florida, where my husband flew in and we're just about to go to Universal, Epic Universe, the new park. We are the adrenaline junkies, so we're going to go play. And I just thought to myself about the alignment of this harmonious part of the affirmation today. Now, in music, when you are in harmony, there is no cacophony, there's no clash, there's just a beautiful alignment. Now, what is harmonious in your life? First of all, in your body, when we talk about the energy centers, the East calls them chakras, right? We call them possibility centers. The first level of harmony is harmonizing the energy centers. And they're harmonized by allowing yourself to receive and accept the energy from God, the source of all harmony, and then to give it. We're harmonized by receiving and giving. And some of us confuse that you can be better at one or the other. If you get to breathe in, how long will you hold until you're forced to breathe out? So the process of giving and receiving actually is simultaneous. But what we receive is what we focus on. I had an amazing opportunity years ago to be interviewed by Les Brown, and he said, is it possible for a person to be unaffected by their environment? And I said, well, yeah, if you find a person who can walk into the ocean and come out dry, they will be my master, and I'll sit at their feet and learn how to not be affected by environment. For the rest of us, if I walk into the ocean, I'm going to come out wet. Now I get to choose what I do with that, right? I can air dry and stay wet for a long time. I can run back in even before I get dry. I can get a towel and dry myself off real quickly and briskly. And so I have choices with what I do after exposure to environment. And so just like with exposure to physical environment, your exposure to emotional environment will either get you out of tune and out of harmony with your divine purpose and with what you're here on this planet, or it'll harmonize you and it'll align you further. And just like with the ocean, you have a choice what you're going to do with that energy of the impact. When you walk into the room and you feel you don't belong, it kind of almost makes you feel sick in the stomach. Why do they say sick in the stomach? So we talked about the harmony of chakras as receiving and giving and the importance of environment. While the second level of harmony is your brain, your heart, and your guts. Why? Because the scientists now tell us that the brain neurons that we're so accustomed to talk only in the brain are found in your guts, in your heart, and in your brain. And what's even more fascinating, that it is the circuit in your heart that dictates the circuit in your brain. And so the good old James Allen, who wrote the book in 1902, As a Man Thinketh, and started the personal development of mind over matter, actually shortcutted us, because the full teaching comes from still the wisest man and the richest man in history, King Solomon, who said, as a man thinketh in his heart, way before science could ever discover that it is the circuits in your heart that dictate the circuits in your mind that reflects back to your guts. That it is the circuits in your guts that give you a gut feeling of knowing to trust something or not. And so when I talk about surrendering to love, I am talking about surrendering your heart to God's will and love so that your heart is harmonized with your purpose. Because when your heart is in harmony, then your heart will influence the thoughts of your mind. And your mind, aligned with the purpose of your heart, will no longer echo in disharmony to your guts. And so when you align your heart in quantum personal development, when you align your heart with divine love through following divine will, and your heart and your minds and your brain surrenders to your heart, then you follow it with your guts. And so what you get is a recipe of living your life by surrendering your might, mind, and strength, your might, your heart, your mind, your brain, and your strength, your guts, your physical health, your emotional, mental, physical, spiritual health. That is a recipe for harmony. So every time when we choose in the morning to harmonize, the fastest way to harmonize is to say a prayer, to meditate, and to literally visualize surrendering your heart to God. So let's do a quick visualization for that harmony. For those of you that are still lingering on, thank you. Let's go ahead and do that. So closing your eyes, taking a beautiful breath in and out. And on 3, 2, 1, I want you to imagine as if you're holding in your hands your very heart. Whether you see it as physical, as energy, however you see the energy of your heart, your actual heart. And imagine as if you're outstretching your hands and you're offering your heart to God. And as you do, witness as a powerful, radiant, beautiful energy of love is poured into your heart. Place the heart back into your chest with one hand on your heart, one hand on the solar plexus. And imagine this energy of love expanding through you. What color is it? Imagine this color is 10 times brighter and more radiant, and 100 times brighter and more radiant. And it expands through every cell of your body. And as it does, feel the harmony and activation of your brain, your guts, and every energy center in your body. And now repeat after me. I am harmonious. Tap into the heart. I am whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. And until I see you again for our next activation, remember to surrender to love.